Hello everyone, this is Lori from Grammy's Keepsakes, and I'm coming to you today with a craft with me. I'm making an envelope journal for a Christmas card. I've used 7 envelopes, a large one to mail it in, 5 envelopes to make the actual journal, and a small one to make the envelope, the pockets. So let's take a look at it. I've decorated it with designer paper, not cardstock, because I didn't want to add the extra thickness and weight to the package when I mail it. I put photo mats by way of cardstock. I made pockets with tags, more photo mats, and I use die cuts, but you can just use regular cut cardstock for your photo mats too, or you can not put photo mats. It doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and get started. This doesn't show up very good, so I'm going to get rid of this. And here I have my envelopes. The large one for mailing, the small or narrower one for our pockets, and our 5 for our journal. So put those aside. We're going to start by opening them all up. One I'm just going to open up, and the other 4 I'm going to fold the flap to the back and give it a little bit of a crease to make it easier for us to work with. Now we can start assembling. We have our first envelope, which is going to be our cover, open. The next envelope, flap to the back. Insert it inside. Close it. We have our flap. And I chose 5, but you can choose as few or as many as you'd like. And just keep inserting. After we get it all put together, then we're going to glue it. And we're going to end with that flap on the outside. I'm lining them all up. And we're going to bring the flap up and over and give it another crease. This is going to be the spine of our journal. It's about 1/8 of an inch, give or take. Now we're going to glue them all in. I'm going to use art glitter glue today. I like the fine tip on the. It's easier to control, and I can get underneath that envelope really easy. I folded the pages over so that I can make sure that it's lined up. Press it down. Next one. Okay, next one. And this is the last one being glued in. Make sure all my envelopes are lined up. Envelopes are all different and they're not perfect measurements, so I just try to work with it and manipulate the paper where I need to. Use my bone folder for persuasion. Bring my flap over. Double check. Now we're going to glue that. So I'm going to put glue in that fold where that little spine is, and then close to the edge, and then fill it in. I like that the flap coming over so that it gives some stability to our little journal. Or Christmas card, right? Okay, put the top in the glue. And this is going to be our front. Now, everybody's greeting card envelopes are a little bit different, but this one is 7 5/8. So I take my designer paper, I'm using 12 by 12, and I am going to cut this about 7 3/8 tall. Yes, that works. Okay, I have it lined up where I want it to be. And now I'm going to give it just a finger crease so that I know where the end of the envelope is. So now I know where to put my glue. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on without trimming my paper yet. I want to do that at the end. And center it on there. Fold it over to the back. And make a little pencil mark where I want to trim it on both the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to line those pencil marks up in my paper trimmer. Easier said than done. That'll work. Wonderful. Okay, so let's finish gluing this together. Glue all the way around the edges. Now it works wonderfully. And this really doesn't have a top or a bottom, so either way it could work. And the reason I do it this way now is because the first time I didn't, and I just measured my paper and I cut it and it was too short, so that's why we have a decorative edge here. But that works too, and you wouldn't have known if I didn't spill my secrets. Now we're going to decorate the inside, and they are the 7 3/8 again. And if you didn't want to measure, you could just put your paper on there and make a mark where you'd like to cut it. And then the width of my envelope is 5 inches. So I cut my envelope, my mats for my envelopes at 4 7/8. And I used 4 sheets of 12 by 12 decorator paper that all coordinate. They came out of the same paper pad so that I know they all coordinate. And I'm just going to randomly put them in here. It doesn't really matter which, we're not going to overthink it. We're just going to cut them and glue them. Centering it on, leaving that margin, and I'm more focused on the top edge and bottom than I am the center. There, focusing again on the top, the side, and the bottom, because the center works itself out because you've got that margin from this side and this side, so it works. Here we go, centering it again with our margins. Adding the designer paper to the envelopes gives it more stability, makes our envelope a little bit firmer and more durable to hold our photos and for mailing. You can hand deliver too, you don't have to mail it, but a lot of my relatives live out of state, so I like to mail them. I would love to hand deliver, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So the mail it is. Okay, and I have 4 more sheets. So we're going to just randomly choose. Let's go ahead and use that one again. But wouldn't this make a nice Christmas card for Grandma and Grandpa? They would love to get something like this in the mail. I know I would. When I get pictures of my grandsons, I am just ecstatic. I just love it. And the last spread. And one thing that's great about using the designer paper out of the same paper pad is that the paper always coordinates in the same paper pad. They use the same tones in the colors, so it's always going to work. So you don't need to overthink it and try to match. It will coordinate. Getting glue all over my fingers. I gotta grab a baby wipe here. All right, let's do some decorating. I've cut some photo mats. Okay. How should we do this? I've just got a bunch of randomly cut mats. Let's use that'll work. We can overlap that a little bit. We'll glue this one down first. And I like using this art glitter glue. You can use Fabri-Tac too, but it's not going to saturate the paper like some of the wet glues. It just makes it so bumpy and rippled and doesn't look nice in the end because there's so much water in them. And you can round the corners on this with your paper rounder or not. I'm going to leave square corners today. You can use your die cutting machine. And then here we have a little journaling square that we can write about what the two photos are. Get back in frame. And this one can be a family picture, or you can write. Or both. And you can write right on this paper as well. That's kind of big. Let's use those. That works. You can put fun little wallet-sized photos in here. You can crop your photos. Let's make a pocket for this one. We're using our narrower envelope. I'm going to glue the flap shut. And I glue inside here too on the edge of that outer side because it overlaps, and we're going to make it into pockets so we don't want our tags to get hung up. And now we're going to cut off some on the bottom so that we can have a pocket. I think about 2 3/4 should work. So I'm going to just cut 2 3/4 off the bottom of the envelope. There, we have a pocket. And I'm going to go ahead on the other side of the envelope and cut 2 3/4 also. So now we have 2 pockets. Let's put that aside. Okay, we're going to measure. That's 4 1/2, so I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4. Well, I'm going to do 4 3/8. And this was 2 3/4, so I'm going to cut it at 2 5/8. Okay, so I have 2 mats for my pockets. Let's make sure they fit. They do. So let's go ahead and glue those on. Move that aside so I can get a little bit of a flat area. Get that centered. Let's go ahead and glue this one on too. We're going to put 2 pockets in there because we can, right? You could put more. You just need more envelopes. Okay, now I'm going to cut a thumb notch, and to do that, I'm going to use my Tim Holtz centering ruler. Here, let's bring that back up. And these envelopes were 4 1/2, and so I know that 2 1/4 is going to be my center. So I mark it at the center. And now I'm going to grab a circle punch. I'm using a 1 3/4 inch punch by EK Success. Open up my pocket, slip it in, centering that mark that I made. and punch. And let's do it again. Center that mark. You can eyeball it, but I usually don't have very good luck with that. Now let's go ahead and glue our pocket on. Upcycling is fun to do. Saves our environment, gets rid of our stash and our scraps, and kicks in the imagination. Okay, let's put a big one here, and too big. Same size. That's smaller. That'll work. Put a little mat down here for journaling. Here I can use my corner rounder and round this one too. This corner rounder is from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm using the 1/2 inch side. It has 2 sides. Now it resembles that. It doesn't have the stitch that I got from the die cut, but that works. Let's go ahead and glue them down. And our little journaling box. You can put the year, the name of the people in the photo, what they were doing in the photo. Let's glue that bottom one down first. You can use this little journal for an event that happened during the year as well. Somebody's graduation, somebody was born, somebody was married, vacation, just plain fun pictures. Okay, let's see, we've got some more photo mats here. Let's see. Let's use a big one. Oh, and we have our other pocket. That'll work. Let's put our let's put our pocket here. And I'm wondering, do I want, yeah, let's break it up a little bit. Let's put this on the bottom and a journaling square at the top of it this time. Add some interest, right? And our envelope. Looks good. Oh. So now we need here's a cut apart from the book, and it's the most wonderful time of year. And then I just matted it in some red so it would stand out a little bit. Using my little snowflakes to line it up with. And then I have a little tiny journaling square here we can put down in the front. And you can add the year or the family name. Let's go in and take a look. Here, let's put one on here too so we can write about what's in the pocket. Let's put some tags in our pocket. Another little journaling square for our pocket. Some more tags. There we go. Isn't that a great Christmas card? And best part, it fits inside the envelope. And we can mail it. Isn't that great? That was a fun, easy project to do in under an hour. Here I have a green one that I made with some craft. Same principle, just used a bunch of die cuts. So it can be for anything. And here I've got another one that I've started. I have not finished this. It's using green envelopes. And here I have one with white envelopes that can be just for winter. No holiday intended. Thank you for watching.